Hi Pisces, welcome to my channel. My name is Kem. So today, Pisces, for your meditative session, you guys got Shekinah, the presence of the divine feminine. At the center of everything there is light, and I am that light. I feel like there's a message that she really had to give you that like I was reading when I was reading her card, and it had something to do with the light that is in the good and the bad. And it was interesting because the good and the bad was in quotation marks. Like, you know, technically what I perceive as good isn't the same thing as what you perceive as good. And what I perceive might be bad might not be what you perceive as bad. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're in quotation marks. I guess it's like really based on perception. Again, there's like some horrible shit that people go through that, you know, you can't really leave for interpretation. It's bad. But what she's trying to say is that you have to see through every like bad and good situation, that there is kind of a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's also like goodness that can happen from a bad situation. And that's what I'm getting, is like there could be good that can happen from the bad. Like sometimes the bad has to happen, but it's only to birth better things, right? It's like we fall down and we scrape our knee, and it could be seen like as a bad thing, you know, I fell. But I don't know, if you would have kept going on your path and you wouldn't have fallen, you might, you know, I don't know, like you could have, something worse could have happened to you, like if you kept walking. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's good that you went back home and you washed your knee and you like, you know, cleaned the scrape, and you didn't go on that walk that you wanted to go on, because maybe like, you know, you never know what's going to happen. You never know why these little things happen. And I feel like that's kind of the message. There's so many crazy bad things that happen, but I feel like for some of us, these little things that happen that kind of deter us on our path are sometimes like a blessing, basically, right? And that's what I'm getting. Like there's just so much light, and I feel like there's so much light within you, and there's so much light in like in the world, basically, and that like the darkness doesn't have to be anything that overshadows it, right? It could always just, like, if we just focus on the light, then we'll just emanate more light, right? But if we focus on the dark, then that's what we're going to bring in. So it's kind of just like time to just focus on the light. Even if there's a bad situation, just focus on the light, focus on the good. You know, it's like you missed your flight, but, you know, maybe you weren't meant to be on that flight. Do you know what I'm saying? Look at it a different way. So yeah, that's what I'm really getting for you guys, Pisces. But yeah, let's pull some more cards. So Pisces, what's really interesting is that I'm getting so much sword energy. I have a lot of sword. I have the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. I have the Emperor and the Empress. I have the Four of Swords, the Ace of Swords. I feel like the sword energy is the light coming in, right? Because we're talking so much about the light, right? And we're talking so much about seeing the light. And I kind of feel like it's similar to seeing the truth about a situation, right? And it's like, it's interesting because the situation, it leaves, it's like, it's the end, the last card is a choice. Someone has a choice, right? And I feel like the light is finally coming in. So if you've been like waiting for someone to make a decision, or you've been waiting for something to happen, I feel like now is the time, because someone is finally seeing the truth, right? Someone is finally being illuminated to the truth, the light, right? And I don't know how long it's been. It's like, again, it's perspective. It's like light and dark, right? Good and bad. But it's like, I don't know how long they've been in the dark necessarily, right? Like, I don't know how to say it. It's like, how long have they not been seeing the truth? You know what I'm saying? How long have they been like misinformed, basically? It feels like someone's just been misinformed, right? It's like they didn't understand a situation. And you know, you don't understand something and you draw your own conclusions. Like you don't have straight facts, right? So you draw like 100 conclusions. Like you're like, oh, like, you know, I don't know, this person didn't hit me up. They must be like with somebody else and they're probably like married, or like, you know what I mean? Like you just keep going. And they feel like that's the end. It's like the end of that, right? It's like this light is coming in, this rushing of light is coming in, and it's illuminating everything. And it's like everything that wasn't clear is clear now. Everything that needed to be like spoken about gets spoken about, right? The truth. It's interesting because it's like the choice card is clarified by the Ace of Wands. So I feel like someone is going to take, if it's about somebody making a choice, it's like they're going to make that choice to start again, right? To start again. And I feel like the journey was very important. This journey leading up to this point, maybe even this misinformation, that's what I wanted to tell you. It's like, it's something about how even the bad could be a good thing, right? Maybe this person was misinformed for a really long time, right? And maybe it's like now they're finally coming into some truth, coming into some sort of clarity. And I think that it's important that it happened now. Again, it's like everything happens and it's like when it's supposed to happen in divine timing, and we're not meant to know why that is. And I feel like that's something that maybe both of you guys have struggled with the King and the Queen of Air. It seems that it's like a struggle for both of you guys to, you know what I'm saying? I don't even think it's like one person not clear. I think it's both people that they put on this, they keep going and going and going in their minds about a situation, and instead of just going to seek the truth or finding out the truth. So I feel like the truth is really important right now. Like if you have something to say to someone, say it. If you have something to speak, like that's like being honest, just say it. I feel like the truth is what needs to be coming out right now. Clarity, truth, like clear communication, if that's what's needed. But that's what I feel like is needed. That's what's going to bring in this light. That's what's going to bring in this change, communication. And again, I just see with the knowledge card, someone's like focused on light. Do you see how he's like focusing on like the light in his hand? It's like one little word to someone, again, a gesture, something like hi, like it could mean a really big thing to someone else. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what you're being clear on, right? I feel like with the Queen of Air, I could be talking to a feminine or I could talk to a masculine. I have the Divine Feminine out and then I have the Emperor and Empress out. So I don't know if I'm talking to a masculine or a feminine, but I feel like there's a reason that this was not clear for a while, and then there's a reason that it's so clear now. And maybe it's just the evolution of ourselves. Like we have to grow, and once we get to that point, everything gets a lot clearer. But maybe we hadn't like reached to that point at some time, right? You know what I mean? It took us a long time to get here, and that's okay, right? It's okay. Like that is what they mean by the journey, right? And with the Maiden out, it's kind of just now finally someone's beginning to trust in the universe. That's what it feels like. It's like finally someone's beginning to understand the way the universe works. And finally someone's beginning to understand. It's not even finally, but it's like it feels good finally, right? It's like, oh, it feels freaking fantastic, right? Like now I'm starting to get shit a little bit better. And like it doesn't affect me the same way it used to affect me, right? Where, you know, I would get plunged into the dark so hard, right? Like that's what it feels like. It's like you can't get plunged back into that darkness anymore, right? It's like all about the light, right? It's like even if shit doesn't work out the way we wanted it to, it's like we'll never be back to that dark time, that dark place that we used to go to. You know what I mean? I mean, I know exactly how I get there, and I know exactly when I'm on my way there, and I know exactly like how to kind of stop myself now. But at a time in my life, there was no way to stop myself. Do you know what I'm saying? I would just kind of spiral. So I feel like it's like the end of that spiraling, and that's what's leading to so much more clarity, because we're not wasting time in like that recovery mode, right? And that mode of like getting better and like getting out of the dark, right? Like it's like you took 20 steps that way, and now you have to take those 20 steps back, and you're carrying like 100 weights on it with you. You know what I'm saying? Just to get back to where you started. We're not doing that anymore. We're like we're on the opposite end. Like we don't go back down that way. You know what I'm saying? We've learned to like not go that way anymore. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to spiral. There's no need to like think about this negativity or this darkness or whatever, you know? there's so much about this dark and this light here. You know, I have the dark and the light in the journey, and then I have this like dark and light, I feel, with the cloaks. And I just feel like it's really, really important that, and it's interesting because it's like now that we can't be brought back to the dark, it's like nothing is dark anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like if we can't go back there, then everything just, it feels like so much easier. Do you know what I mean? Just like keep going forward. And that's the energy I feel. It's like someone is going forward, even with, maybe it's not, you know what I mean? It's not, they're not very, 100% clear on what tomorrow's going to bring, but that's not the point anymore. You know what I mean? It's just the point that I'm okay. Like I don't have to go back to that place that I used to go to. And I feel like that's what's really, it's like conquering so much darkness. That's what it feels like. It's like conquering like so much insecurities and so much bullshit, It's like conquering that so that we can like go forward. And I think that time may have been an issue, but it's not anymore. It's like, fuck it, what is time at this point? And I feel like what's being clear is like, what's interesting is that we have the victory card with the Empress and then the Emperor. So I feel like there's going to be victory in this, but it's only because of this victory. And I feel like there's a time of maybe disunion, right? Because we have the Union in reverse, but then we have the Ace of Swords. So again, it's like, once we become clear, it's like, you know how they say if you really like are with a soulmate, you're never really apart from them? And I don't know, maybe you're beginning to understand that. Like maybe you're just beginning to feel them more. Again, maybe you just want to communicate with them something, and once you communicate, everything opens up. Do you know what I'm saying? Everything, for everyone's going to be different, but I just see like everybody kind of just being very clear. Like if there's something I have to say, I'm going to go say it. I'm not scared to say it anymore. If the effect isn't what I want it to be, if this person doesn't end up being like, if this doesn't work out with this person, I'm going to be okay. That's like what it really comes down to at the end of the day. Like, will I be able to be okay no matter what happens? And I feel like you are, right? Because you understand like that you're like in the light now. Like nothing can take you back down. So if there's any time that you felt like, I could, there's times, in my life where, I didn't know it was going to trigger me and something triggered me. I didn't know like that day was going to be that, bad, but it was bad. And then, again, that spiral, and there's no more spiraling. There's no more. Yes, there is the light in the dark, but it's how we see the dark and how we see those dark times and the way we act through those dark times, those times when we're insecure, not feeling that great, right? But I don't ever see you guys going back down as deep down as you used to be for some reason. I just see, all this light. Like there's just no way you can go back that way. It doesn't matter what the outcome is with these two people. It doesn't matter, what happened in the past. It's like I'm never going to go back down there, right? I see even in the bad times the good. And focusing on the good is just going to get you further and further and further away from the bad. And that's what I'm getting. It's like I see someone making a choice too. I see someone making a choice. It could be the Emperor or the Empress. Maybe it's someone making a choice to communicate. Maybe it's someone making a choice to start over again with this Three of Pentacles. Maybe it's starting over alone. I mean, for everyone's gonna be different, but I feel like, yeah, the choice is here. It felt like right here. The choice is here. And I feel again a lot of communication with this Eight of Wands. I feel communication. I feel sword energy, light, like clarity, everything being brought, like everything being very clear, right? The King and the Queen of Swords, they see everything very clearly, right? They don't, they're not confused. Do you know what I'm saying? Everything is very clear. Whether it's something that we'll never understand, it's like, oh, well, I'll never understand that. But at the end of the day, like, I'm okay with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's no answer. There's no good answer to some shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people mess up and there's no good excuse. Do you know what I'm saying? But again, it's like, these two people understand so much shit, man. And yeah, I just see a balancing out. Something's happening with the Temperance and the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. I feel like it doesn't matter who it's for. If it's for the Emperor, the Empress. Again, I feel like these two people are connected. They're connected in this relationship. They're connected in this union, this communication, right? This clarity that's coming in. Maybe it's for both of them at the same exact time. Maybe both of them have shifted very, very much like so into the light. Maybe only one person has made that shift and another person hasn't, right? Again, it's going to depend on everyone. But it's like, depending on where this person is in their journey, is what's going to happen next, right? If they're focusing, even here, like if you look at the faces, there's the light and then there's the dark, and the dark is crying. Depending on where this person is in their journey, is if they're going to see it as the light or they're going to see it as the dark. Is this relationship Was this like the worst thing that ever happened to me or the best thing that ever happened to me? Is this relationship something that I want to work on? Or is this a relationship that I can't work on anymore? Do you know what I'm saying? And why is that? Everything's going to become very clear at this time. So yeah, Pisces, I just expect a lot of clarity, expect a lot of, maybe someone's going to make a decision, but I feel like they're making a decision towards a brand new beginning. That's what it seems like. Things are being to be balanced out. I see wish fulfillment. I see communication. I see all this good shit. But again, it's because I feel like two people have focused on the light. And if that's only you right now, that's only been focusing on the light, it won't affect it will not affect you what this person does, because at the end of the day, you're already here, right? You're the presence of the divine feminine, Shekinah. Like, you cannot be brought back into the dark. Even if this person does not decide to come with you, you will never be in that dark place again. And I feel like that's the most clarity you could get in this life, right? Being clear and being okay, just, on your own, and overcoming all this darkness. I feel like you did it by yourself. Maybe they did it by themselves. Maybe you guys were there on the 5D with one another, but you weren't there in the 3D. It depends. Everybody's like storyline is so different, but I just see so much light. I just see so much like positive energy. I see a lot of clarity. So yeah, Pisces. I really love this reading. I don't feel like there's any advice that's needed. Again, there's a true pair out here twice. I feel like now all the connections are being made, right? With this 4 of Swords, all the connections are being made now for some reason. It's like now is the time of like really big clarity for both people. And I feel like both people are just going to be focused on the light. Again, if you focus on the light, I don't think that, again, it's the way you judge a person too, right? If you focus on only the bad things that they've ever done, that's not very well rounded. Do you know what I'm saying? These are people that are, I feel like, focusing on the good. Like, oh, what do I like about this person? What do I like about this person? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the choices that they make are, again, there's a choice that has to be made on maybe these two people, on like where they're going in the journey, if they're going together or not. And I feel like that's a big thing this week, this sword energy. And I feel like it's very clear. So like both people are becoming very clear. And it could be the Emperor on this Empress. It could be the Empress on this Emperor. It kind of feels like it's the Emperor on this Empress though, with the clarity here and the victory, right? But yeah, Pisces, is a beautiful reading. I love you guys so much. I hope this reading resonates, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.